So, hello everybody. Are we complete? Welcome to our webinar about digital twins. And thank you for joining us. We have a few things to say. This is we have questions and answers. So you ask questions, we do answers. On the right, you have a little box with Q&A, so you can type in any question that you have. We also will have a few polls during the webinar where we ask you questions and hopefully you answer. This is interesting for all of us, I think. So let's start. So my name is Thomas. I'm a regional business manager for Europe and a little bit beyond Europe here at Softeq. I don't know if you know Softeq. We're a development company doing hardware development and software development. We have roughly 400 engineers, and I would also like to introduce my co-host today, which is Mahmood. Mahmood, yours.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. Today, we are aiming to discuss digital twins, a technology that definitely you heard recently a lot about it. However, it might raise some questions about how to implement, how to use it effectively, and which technology suits your specific use case. So regardless of all the stage that your project are, our goal is to provide the relevant information and try to help you kind of facilitate what you are doing or what you want to do. So let's get the ball rolling, Thomas. All right. So we want to first answer one question. So what exactly is digital twin? So if we want to explain digital twin in one sentence, a digital twin is a virtual model of physical object, system, or process. So anything that you see in the physical world can be the subject of digital twin. You can make the model of it, bring it to the digital world, and then use it. Definitely, if you kind of go deeper to the definition of digital twin, this technology has been with us for last, I think, 20 years because there is a lot of use cases that use this technology as your health record or any of the representation of data in the digital world. It can be IoT or it can be any of these things. So we can see that this technology is with us long time ago, and it doesn't need to be something really technical or detailed. Definitely, there are use cases that we can implement without much, technical details and activities. Yeah.
Yeah. This. Talking about use cases, this sounds like a fairly universal concept. So maybe we dive a little bit deeper into use cases of different industries, if you.
Yeah, sure.
Wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So if we want to talk about where we can use digital twin, simply in one word. Everywhere. So every single industry, they can use digital twin inside their processes.
Mahmood, let me interrupt you briefly. We have a poll.
Okay.
And this is about the industries, and maybe we can see the first poll.
I think we have the polls, Thomas, so we can.
Do we have them?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see them. So the first poll is about the industry you are working in. So it would be great to tell us where your environment is, where your world is.
All right. Yeah, it will give us a lot of good insight because definitely we try to bring this presentation more toward your needs and don't talk about other things as well. All right. So talking about industries and use cases. So as I mentioned, every industry can utilize digital twin to different levels, different use cases you can have. Definitely, you can have it in the manufacturing. I mean, the bigger industries, because of the initial investment, definitely can leverage digital twin more than other industries. And we can utilize it in the energy and utilities, all the power plants, oil distribution, extraction. They can use this digital twin to see how they can improve their processes. Definitely in the retail. So it's one of the things that is completely working with the end customer. So you can manage your supply chain, you can optimize your shop floor even. So it will give you a lot of possibilities to improve your systems. The next thing that I see it's really trending now, it's about in automotive and transport. So we can see the trend that people can design the autonomous vehicles or even design the cars or their system or their mobility or this self-driving system using the digital twin to be able to simulate the whole environment. So it's really a hot topic. I think, Thomas, we need to have some webinar about it in the future. Anyway.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, so about telecommunication, maybe you see this as a really weird one because telecommunication, how they can use digital twin. But I know that the big, tower owners or telecommunication companies, they are using this digital twin to plan their networks, monitor their networks, and manage their assets and infrastructure. Because there is a big investment to build this asset and the kind of towers, and then they want to utilize it as much as possible. In the healthcare, definitely, as I mentioned, your health record that you had from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was your initial digital twin. And now we have this possibility to have this virtual patient model. So you can have the whole body. Definitely you saw it in these futuristic movies, but now it's a reality. It's a good news. And then going to the agriculture. So definitely agriculture can leverage it. So smart farms, livestock monitoring, you can see the whole processes inside your farm, including the precision agriculture, regenerative agriculture. So it can give you a lot of information, and it's also connected to how to want to put the carbon inside the soil. So it can help you a lot. And then one of the other things alongside the manufacturing that I believe it's really booming now, they're really trying to use digital twin, it is construction and facility management. So if we can kind of integrate digital twin with BIM systems, building information modeling, or using in the management system, building management systems, definitely it will bring a lot of value and a lot of optimization for your processes.
Yeah, I think in facility management, it's very interesting that you have a lot of data through the BIM model where while the building is constructed already, all data are collected, even the thickness of the doors and everything. So you can easily or relatively easily build a 3D model out of it. Now we're broad again with use cases through all the industries. So let's maybe boil it down to the components that a digital twin consists of, actually, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what all these use cases that we discussed about they have in common are the components. So, and we discussed about this physical. We know that we say every time that digital twin is a representation of the physical asset inside the digital environment. So the first thing and the foundation of the digital twin is a physical entity. So anything that we can see, or in the next slides, I will say that even we don't see now, we can have it in the digital twin. So it's the main thing that we want to bring the characteristic to the digital world. Then we have the virtual model. So we need to have the bijection of the assets, the characteristic of the asset inside the virtual world. So you want to be able to model the system. You want to model your physical asset as in terms of 3D model, or you want to show them as a combination of the data. So all these things, as we will discuss later, it's about how deep you want to implement your digital twin. The next step, which is really important, and I will repeat myself multiple times during this webinar, is about data and data connectivity. So what does it mean? We need to have a data. We need to have a precise data. We need to have a reliable data when we want to implement our digital twin solution. And to bring this data to the virtual model, to the system that we are storing this model, we need to have connectivity. So whether it's IoT, we need to network connectivity. Whether it's a simulation software, is it a 3D modeling system, we need to have a connectivity to bring this data. So it should be reliable, and it should be something that it's really optimized for us. And the next step is analytics. So we have the physical asset. We brought it to the virtual world. Then we brought all the data related to it. So how we want to utilize this data, which is completely need to be aligned with your use case that you want to use. So now talking about
now we put a light on the digital twin from different angles, actually. So we built somehow a digital twin of the digital twin, looking at it from the components, from from what is it about, the use cases. Now let's go a little bit more in technology. I mean, it looks like more that a digital twin is not a let's say a technology as such in itself, but consists of several technologies that are already there. Let's take industrial IoT, for example, or IoT in general, which is here for decades actually, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to talk about the foundation of digital twin, so we will talk about the technologies, and now I want to introduce another thing about the types of digital twin, right, Thomas? So
sure, yeah.
If we want to bring any of these assets inside the digital world, we need to understand to what extent we want to bring them. So the first thing that the lowest level digital twin that we can have is about the component twin. So it's really granular, so level of digital twin technology that we want to use, and it can say it's a smallest element. So it can be as a specific sensor, or it can be a switch, or any small component inside your system, which can do some activities. Then you can monitor it, then you can simulate its activities, and then understand his behavior. The next step, or if it become a bit higher, it's the asset twin. So asset twin represents the next level of digital twin, which is combine multiple components to leverage the data. So how they are working together, how they can shape a system, shape an entity which can work, and then it can do some activities in your system. The next step is a system twin. So when we have multiple asset twins working together in a factory or any of these things, for example, you can consider one small machinery inside your factory, then all the machines working together consist of different, we can say different kind of machines and equipment, and then we can call it the system twin or the unit twin, which can represent the whole process that we have. The next, if we go a bit further, and then I would say zoom out, it's the process digital twin. So we can say that we have the components, so we know how the components work together. We go to the asset twin, then we go to the system twin, and then the process twin consists of more higher level digital twin that we can have. So we have, for example, consider about one big company which has different factories. So these factories need to make the raw material, then send it to the production line, then send it to the warehouses, and then distribute it. So each of these things, they are system twins, and then they are working together. They are process twin that we can leverage their capabilities to understand their data, to understand their status, and then leverage the data receiving from them to come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm. Let's move to technology now.
Yeah, sure.
I'm looking forward to the technology, and there are so many aspects of technology here.
Now this is your interesting part, Thomas. I hope to explain it properly. So talking about the technology. So as I mentioned, digital twin is around us with different names from years ago. So if we talk about the technologies that it consists of, we can say digital twin is umbrella, and there is a lot of technologies that it can, consist and then give the service to the customers. I think the first and the most foundational thing that we talk about the data and everything is the IoT. So we need to have the IoT system, we need to have the sensors, we need to have this network, we need to have this platform to gather all the data from the field, from the physical asset that we have, and then bring it to our virtual world. So IoT is really important. And as you might remember, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, IoT was equal to the digital twin. So by that time, we had these device shadows in the platform, which kind of represent that digital twin of the system. The next is the 3D modeling. So I talked about the characteristic and data related to the physical asset. So the shape, the visualization of this asset or physical thing is also a factor that we can kind of visualize it in the virtual world. There is various tools that we can use. We can use even imaging. You can have the LiDARs to make it, or we can make this 3D model from the scratch. And I will explain more that based on what we need to decide which one we want to use. And one hot topic is data analysis and also the AI. So these two spaces, these two paradigms can work together to give more value to the digital twin. I would say maybe because of this advancement in this data analysis and artificial intelligence is that we can have this spread usage of digital twin for now because we can now process that data. And cloud computing, obviously, this is a kind of infrastructure for all the activities that we are doing. So about the storing, about having it as processing power, or even as the services that we want to provide to the end customer. And one of the things that me and Thomas is really looking forward to implementing more is VR and AR. So I would say now we have another technology, not another technology or branch of digital twin, which is virtual digital twin or mixed digital twin. So there is a lot of requests that we receive about making it more immersive for the digital twin. I know that it's a bit funny that we have the physical and then bring it to the virtual and then we want to experience it. But there is a lot of things that we can do while we are in the VR and AR environment. So let's see what we can do. All right. So Thomas, do you want to give us the benefits?
I mean, so much for the technology, and technology is very good. But nowadays, technology for its own sake, this is not happening anymore. So, if you want to implement such a project, which is, and we will see it a little bit later, which has its challenges, and investment is one of them. So you need to find out what is the outcome, what's in for me when I implement such a project. So let's go to a few examples. If you have an manufacturing process, for example, and you can automate or optimize this process, you can optimize the material flow in the factory. You can optimize the intralogistics. You can optimize the storage. You can even optimize the ways that people are going or vehicles are moving through the factory. Then it automatically leads to a lower cost, higher quality, and less risk. Because if you have less dangers on the shop floor, you have less risk of losing assets. So it's a simple thing. Or you can even if you are provisioning new machines, you imagine you bought a new machine and you have to provision it to your shop floor, so you can try it out on a virtual basis. So if you do something wrong, it's nothing happens, right? You just start from scratch. But if you do it the first time on the real engine or the real machine, then things can happen, damages can happen. So you lower the risk. Or even entire shop floor designs you can simulate. I know it from Ford, for example, or other car manufacturers. If they design a new factory or shop floor, they use digital twins of the machines. I mean, the CAD data is available from all these machines. They use it. They have digital twin of the rooms and the halls that they want to populate, and they optimize the flows, the material flows in these shop floors. And this is a classical, I would say, use case for digital twin. Talking about the ROI, in fact, so because it's if you have an investment, you want to have something back. So the return on investment is very important. How to calculate this depends a lot on the use case that you are having. So if you can put numbers on the downtimes, for example, of machines that you have, and you implement a system for predictive maintenance, for example, and you can reduce the downtime, you can calculate it. If you have less scrap on in the production, you can put numbers on it. So try to put numbers on the effects that you create through the digital twin, and leverage it to the investment that you have. So and if through this calculations you have a benefit, then go for it. I would say it's a simple calculation. In fact, it's not simple. It's very complex. But in the end, you see if there's a benefit or not.
Right. I totally agree, Thomas. So it brings a lot of benefits. So let's see about the challenges. So before I forget, please answer the polls that we have here. Ask your questions. We try our best to have a fruitful QA for you. But let's go for the challenges. So if we want to talk about the challenges, as I mentioned, I'm now repeating myself, data. So one of the main things that it's really important to have the optimized digital twin solution is the data. So the data quality is really important. It's not only about the volume of the data, but it's also about the reliability of the data and how you can rely on the data you receive and how relevant they are to your solution. The next one is the scalability. So you need to understand in what level you want to implement your digital twin. Is it a component? Is it going to the asset? Is it the system or is it the process? So based on any of these things, you need to plan. So if you go for the components, is it possible to expand it to the asset or to the component? I mean, any of these things, they are interchangeable, and you need to be able to do this scalability. From the network point of view, if you want to implement your IT, or you want to have it as a 3D rendering, so you need to have enough power. So is it possible to implement the whole process twin in your system? Next is the security. Definitely. Any place that there is an IT, we have the security. And because as far as I've seen from different customers, they want to bring as much as possible in the digital twin system. So digital twin now has more information about their system if someone wants to come and see your factory. So security measures is really important because there is a lot of information about even the physical details of your factory or system or your process. Talking about the cost, so definitely it will cost. And especially if you don't have infrastructure about, the IoT, about the 3D models, if you don't have any 3D model of your systems, you need to design them, or at least you need to use the LiDARs to kind of capture them, or some other photogrammetry or something like this. But this investment, as Thomas mentioned, definitely it will pay in the future because this ROI is something that, based on your kind of planning, can bring this cost back. So I encourage you to do that. And interoperability, which is now one of the hot topics. I was attending one event 2 weeks ago about WOT. So interoperability is really important. Why? Because we have IoT data from different sensors. So are we able to integrate it to our system and the platform? Are we able to bring the 3D models from various tools with different kind of file formats to our system? Can we do some simulation? So it's really important to understand how we want to implement it. We discussed about everything. So let's go to how to implement.
Let's put hands on how to overcome these.
We need to
or face these, get through these challenges.
So
the steps actually that you need to do.
I hope that our audiences wants to to make their hands dirty and then jump inside the project soon.
Get to the oily parts.
Yeah, exactly. So as we discussed, it's really important in the beginning to define your use case. So what kind of benefits you want a digital twin to bring for you? Is it the preventive maintenance? Is it you want to see some planning, or you want to see the simulation? So it's really important to define, because next I will say why it's important. Then the scope. Is it component? Do you want to have it in the component level, in the asset level? Do you want to monitor every single machine in your factory, or it's only the whole process of your factory? Or, as I mentioned about the scalability, you want to start small and then grow your system. Then, based on the last two factors, you need to choose the right technology. So, do you have IoT technology available or not? I saw one of the questions about the bringing this IoT for retro. So we can understand that if the technology is not exactly what you need to do, it will need some planning for you. also for the 3D modeling and all these related things for the virtual models. Then, as I mentioned, data. You need to have clean data. If you don't have historical data, you need to build this data. You need to bring this data from your fields. You need to have this data from your physical asset to be able to come up with the favorable result that you want. Then definitely you need to utilize the data, and you need to kind of understand how you want to utilize it. You can have the analysis, you can have the simulation, or you can only use it as a monitoring. So yeah, let's do the project.
Yeah, when from our experience, it is if you start such an endeavor, it would be good to have a project that is relatively quickly implemented and brings quick ROI, because like this you get the backing from your management actually, because you have an implementation of let's say 3 months and an ROI coming in after 6 months. Then this is optimal, I would say, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right. So talking about future trends in the digital twin, I think you wanted to mention something, Thomas, about the metaverse.
Metaverse. I mean, metaverse didn't from my point of view didn't develop as quickly as some people thought it would, but nevertheless it does. And I think in digital twins, let's say VR, will become more and more important when technologies are available that don't make you headaches while you're using VR glasses all the time, for example. No? These things have to get smaller. They have to get more, let's say, see-through. And for example, the other day we were at our friends at Unware. They developed a system for a 3D visualization without a headset. So it's projecting, it's taking the movement of the head, so you can look around things on a 2D monitor, which is very interesting. And I think these immersive technologies will be a thing of the future.
Yeah, I think we will live in the immersive world in the near future. So apart from the AI and VR and all this advancement, definitely AI, we see that every day AI brings us new capability, new things. So definitely in the digital twin, in the future, we will have the autonomous systems. As I mentioned, we have this process digital twin, so the whole process can work autonomously without any supervision. And the next one about the data connectivity that I mentioned, 5G, and I think it's realistic now. We talk about also 6G, which brings more data, more bandwidth, so it can help us to gather more data from different places. And as I mentioned, definitely you can remember about the agriculture, sustainability, and green technology. By fact, I know that there is a lot of green technologies, green energy technologies that they are using digital twin to optimize, even monitoring the solar panels if they are covered with dust or not. So we can say now we have more and more use cases in the sustainability and green technologies for digital twin, which they are emerging. And I hope for all of us that this technology can help save our planet.
Yeah, let's hope for that. Yes, at least help.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about technology and how many technological elements there are, and I think for a smaller company it's difficult to have all these skills in the company, so all these technologies at hand. So when you implement such a project, it might be a wise idea to ask somebody who knows about it to help you. So we do that, but not only us, of course. But it would be necessary to have a real partner that works closely with you, because it's all about APIs, connectivity, systems that are connected, technology that are connected. So this would be important to have a partner that really works together with you in a strong bond. Yeah. So I would say this we're nearly on time, so we have a few minutes for the questions and basically the answers. So let's have a look at the.
Yes, there are a lot of questions. Yeah. Nice. It shows that we could kind of simulate the need for our audiences to have digital twins. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah. So let's start. How does your solution ensure seamless integration with legacy systems? Well, as I said, it's all about API. It's all about connectivity. So it depends a lot on the systems that you actually have. So, but this is there is no general answer to that. But it's a central problem. It's a central issue that you have to solve.
Yeah, and also I can add that we as Softeq, we try to help bring these legacy systems of the other companies because we have the teams, as Thomas mentioned, we can kind of fill the gaps between all these dots and integration that you need. So we don't have a solution itself because we are a full stack development company, but definitely we can help to bring this solution for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Thomas, we answered the next one.
Yeah, advancements. I mean, maybe we jumped this one because we talked about it briefly. So what potential challenges should be considered, but maybe overlooked when planning a digital twin project? Yeah, I think it's a lot about the benefits and the ROI. That I mean, you see a technology and you want to do it, and but you cannot grab the benefits, and this is something that is very important to get a backing from the management. Otherwise, you probably won't start that project, right?
Yeah.
How customizable is your platform for different industries or unique use cases? Well, we don't have a platform as such. So digital twin is more a concept than a platform. It consists of very different components. And therefore, as you use the components from the different industries, it's always tailored to the industry, actually, right?
Yeah.
Mahmood, what do you say?
Yeah, exactly. You know, when we can tailor some solution for a specific industry, we can have this flexibility to bring it for as much as possible. And based on the solution and use case, we can optimize. So it's something that definitely it's possible to be done. So the next question is about the blockchain, Thomas.
Yeah, and I don't know much about blockchain, so Mahmood, I'm giving it back
yeah,
to you.
I'm not an expert also in blockchain, but I can say that definitely blockchain is something that can be utilized to make this more transparency in storing the information to be more reliable. Definitely, there is a lot of use cases also in each of these technologies that we mentioned, which can apply also to the digital twin. So I will stop here because if I continue, then I will be in problem.
How about using digital twins to... no, it's gone. This one...
No, it's here.
Ah, here. How about using digital twins to simulate customer behavior or preferences? Yeah, that is commonly used actually in retail. So if you look at personas, for example, that are used in prediction of behavior, this is something that is widely used. Yes, right. Do you want to go more into details about that, or?
Yeah, I believe what you mentioned about it. When we discuss about the historical data, definitely based on that, we can predict or we can kind of project what would happen and what will the customer will react to the new thing or new trends, as you mentioned. But yeah, it should be completely based on the use case we discussed, and definitely Matt, I think he asked the question. He can reach out to us and we can discuss later because I believe also we are running out of time.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody who has joined us, and thank you for being with us in this huge crowd. And I hope you could take something away about digital twins. And if you have questions or want to talk about your project anytime, just reach out to us. Thank you, and have a good morning, day, evening, afternoon, wherever you have joined us in the world. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm Mahmood, and see you on the next webinars.